you take everything that longevity has to offer, I guarantee you one thing. You're going to start to see through time just like I do, man. It's going to be sweet. It's going to look something like this. Oh, whoa, bro. Hey, man, that's... Oh. Ah. Spiders, man! Too much, man. Too much, man.
Afternoon, folks. I have in the palm of my hand Bulletproof Coffee's worst nightmare. This stuff literally says that it was around when the dinosaurs were around. When Brontosaurus was running away from 10 fucking raptors, this shit was around. And guess what? It probably wasn't getting enough of it, but if it did, it would still be alive today.
Right foods, and knowing that our grocery stores are one of the most dangerous places in the world, but we have to go to them. We just do. Rome was not built in a day. Are you building your Rome? Are you tearing down your Rome, your own megastructure? That the Mediterranean diet is better for you and helps you live longer. Well, Dr. Ansel Keys did a study around World War II, just after, and everybody there was using a lot of oils. They actually weren't eating much of anything, to be honest. But what he forgot to do, he left out a group of people on the island of Sardinia, and they didn't use olive oil. They hated it. They used a lot of land. They cooked everything in lard and butter, and they actually lived longer on average than anyone there. You can't. It's hard to look at somebody, and I don't mean that like it's hard to look at them, but it's hard to look at somebody that's abusing themselves, and to use the CWYL logic consistent with your logic. You don't want to reach for good supplements and good food, but look at the result. I mean, you're putting this food into your body, and somebody that's really fat, I mean, we're not shaming them, but they're literally just inflamed everywhere. At that point, Procter & Gamble gave $1.7 million to the Heart Foundation in exchange for them to say that Crisco was good for you. Crisco was also meant to be used as car lubricants. His hands are basically tied. He's going to give you some pills that shut off the pain receptors and make your body think all is right. And you just basically, I'm going a bit off topic, but it is all interrelated. You become a zombie and a slave to all that stuff. So here's the thing. We should be empowered, though, by eating the right foods and knowing that but supplementation, always consult your doctor, please. But keep in mind, if we always wait for the approval of these governing bodies, the FDA, the EPA, etc., you might be going out on a date and you open up your wallet the first time. I'm all about chivalry. But the second and third date, and essentially what are we doing? We're paying to play. And a lot of these women, they want so-called equality of the sexes.
Question.
Aren't you...
Make it a question, man.
Question. Aren't you really just being a prostitute of sorts? I mean, look at all the laws we have.
It looks awesome.
Coming at a cop, let alone with I'm going to tackle you or swing, you're in trouble. He's probably just going to hit you with a club or tase you if he has the taser. But a hammer, he's going for his gun. I'm sorry. We have American troops within 500 miles of the American border. Because that's what defense is. Awesome. That's the shit you need. So you can sit there to yourself and go, you know what? He's not going to get in because he's not a Republican or Democrat. Well, he's being consistent with his logic. He's saying he's not going to play the two-party system. So vote for that guy. Do your homework. It's your country, but if you put one of these other schmucks in there... Hillary, now this is not her fault. I'm consistent with my logic. She had Melinda Albright come out and say, there's a special place in hell for all women who don't vote for Hillary. And yay, applaud, yeah! All women, and then nudging their husbands like, oh yeah. All women have to stick together. Kind of the moral of the story that are overlords. We keep voting for them, so we get what we deserve, don't we?
I guess. We'd basically be the only ones in history to do that, to let our enemies in when we're at war. So you have to be,
You're a girl. I'm a girl. Come on with me and we fucking rule the world. Come on, girl power. Every hour. I had to get that out. Alright. Here's my beef with feminism, besides everything.
and I'm still waiting. I haven't got one response about why Hillary would be a good president. So anyhow, I can get back to my day, guys. I hope you're well.
Kid was 18 or 19, 2013, TTC streetcar, high in ecstasy and a knife. Weird combination. Gibbering and jabbering, and then he, cops raid the streetcar and he gets shot.
Yes, he is running as a Republican, but he's not necessarily a Bush. He's not a Bush. So give that food for thought. If you want another ruler, another Clinton ruler, go nuts. But it's not going to be drum circles around the White House if Hillary gets in.
Moving right along. Trump's a racist. Okay, well, so is Obama then, by your rationale. I mean, Obama said right off the start of his presidency, we have to get guns out of the hand of these bitter clingers. Now, there is subtext there. He didn't say we have to go after white people, but I don't think he was talking about black people from Chicago or New York. Swish that around any way you want. Let Muslims into the country until we figure out what's going on. Dummies, we're at war with these people. Do I want to be? No. This is the shit that our military-industrial complex has got us into. So, if you at least don't let a group of people in, you at least can eliminate those group of people. It's just the... Now, I'm pretty sure that even if all the polar ice caps melted overnight, that you couldn't even hope for more than a 15 degrees drop in temperature. But I'm no scientist. But I am somebody that thinks for myself. So, the question you have to ask yourself is how many more weekends are you going to have ruined? And how many more blue skies are you going to have taken away from you before you can explain this to your children and go, you know what? Mommy and Daddy didn't have the courage because we just didn't want to admit this is going.
November 14th, downtown Toronto. This is Church in Wellesley, and this is easily the biggest trail I've ever seen. It seems like they get lower and it just never stops. This is like off the charts. Hey you folks, this is Fierce Phil coming at you. It's January 9th, 2016. Why am I pointing at the snow? Real simple. These dark particles in the snow, I believe, are from the geoengineering, aka chemtrail program. And you say, well, that's probably just soot from the cars. Well, this is in my backyard. Just a preface, I'm here at college in Dufferin. And here is an example. There was snow here a few days ago. This is where it melted pretty much a day or two later because it gets hot here. That's where the sun hits the hottest. And there's particles. Now, I'll give you one, the benefit of the doubt. Moving right along, another quote, and this is probably the worst one of them all. When asked about dumping megatons of metals into the air in 2012 at a conference by Dane Whittington, David Keith replied, "It's not really a moral hazard. It's more like free riding on our grandkids." What do you want him to do? Spell it out for you? Do you want him to say, we're going to spray you with chemtrails? I guess if he says the word chemtrails, then you have to wake up. So the masses go back to sleep. In a good way. And you're just going to scan and look at everybody in each other's eyes. We're going to start looking in each other's eyes again, man. Remember when we did that? Then it's going to be you grabbing the hand of the person to the left of you. Drop your mineral bottle, you put it down to the right of you. That's right. its hands around the world. What's even better is the aliens are going to be watching all this in their UFOs. And they're going to be thinking, you know what? They passed the test, man. They passed.